Because the idea is that we are all one. We are not separate from that which we want to attract into our life, including straight up money, if that's what you're looking for, the love of your life, if that's what you're looking for. A new keyboard is something that I would like right now. And when I say keyboard, I mean like piano keyboard, not keyboard for my computer. Although that would be kind of cool too. I want a new keyboard in my life. I am going to manifest that. There are lots of things that you can create in your life through manifesting. Welcome to The Reluctant Medium, where we cover the gamut of out there conversations. With an open mind and a curious heart, we want to talk about it all. From psychic phenomena and energy medicine to beings from other star systems and out-of-body experiences. You'll find a great balance between grounded science-backed topics and others that science hasn't quite caught up to yet. I'm your host, Dr. Maria Rothenberger, a psychotherapist by trade and a reluctant spirit baby communicator. And hey, even though I'm a medium, I'm not buying everything folks are selling. I just have a voracious appetite to know more about what I call the world of the weird. Join us on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube at The Reluctant Medium. I'll see you there. The Reluctant Medium is part of the Ethereal Network. Here's another podcast you may want to check out.
Hello, my name is Melissa Oatman, and I'm the host of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I'm a teacher, healer, intuitive, and single mom of twins. I'm an empath and a recovering people pleaser. I created Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness to help other people like me learn how to stop living their lives for others so that they could start living their absolute best lives. I cover topics in spirituality and self-improvement, like setting healthy boundaries, working with the archangels, and protecting your energy. I end every episode by pulling a card of guidance to help you get a message to start your day off right. I also interview fascinating guests who cover a wide range of self-help topics. If this sounds interesting to you, then what are you waiting for? Start listening today.
Hi there. Welcome to the Reluctant Medium podcast. I'm Dr. Maria Rothenberger, your host for the podcast and your resident reluctant medium. I recently had somebody ask me, why are you reluctant? And I said, well, because I'm a psychotherapist by trade, and that is just professional suicide, basically, to say, I see dead people, and I talk to dead people, and spirit babies, and things on the other side. But you know what? I am encouraged because I think that more of the psychotherapeutic community is coming to like the dark side, as it were, if there is a dark side. This isn't a dark side. It's all love and light, but I'm encouraged. I think there are more therapists that are willing to do spiritual work in tandem with psychotherapy because I feel like spiritual health is also mental health. Anyway, total side tangent, as I tend to do. This episode is part 2 of a 3-part series on manifesting. And if you haven't listened to part 1 yet, then what I'm going to say next is not going to make any sense at all. But I'm going to say it anyway so that you'll go listen to part 1. Okay, I saw no less than 5 yellow Jeeps today. 5. And 2 pink vehicles, which is completely insane because who has a pink vehicle? Anyway, that you will not understand at all until you go listen to part 1 of this series. And if you did what I suggested from part 1 of this series, I so want to hear from you. I want to know what your experience was like, what you found, what you drew to you. And with that, let's actually talk. Oh, wait, I just want to check in really quick. Speaking of mental health, today, when I saw those 5 yellow Jeeps and 2 pink vehicles, it's because I was out and about this morning on a solo date. If you do not solo date, oh my God, one of the absolute best things that you can do for your mental wellness is take your fucking self out on a date. You deserve it. You're amazing. And you're probably the best company ever for yourself. So go do it. today I went to the coast, the Oregon coast, and I enjoyed some. It's really cool, right? So I'm a forest mountain kind of girl, right? And my sister is like this coast kind of person. But here in Oregon, where we both live, out on the coast, there are some beautiful opportunities to have a mountain like flavor. And the coast is right there. It's like the forest is like butted right up against the coast. It's so gorgeous. So I took myself on a beautiful hike today and then did some rock hounding at the beach. And I found a beautiful new stone with like streaks of purple in it. And then I stopped for a Starbucks and took myself home. And now I'm recording this beautiful podcast for you with lovely self care energy. And I don't think that there's anything better than that. So, advocating for yourself for a solo date, go have at it. Oh, I have a huge list of things to do. Those are just a couple of things I can check off the list now. All right. That's a total aside. Maybe it's not. Maybe I totally manifested this. Solo date adventures. Okay, let's move into the topic of the hour or the topic of the next 30 minutes, and that is manifesting. So just to recap, the last episode we talked about what manifesting is. And if you heard that episode, then you will remember you heard Dr. Wayne Dyer and Dr. Deepak Chopra talk about the different levels of manifesting. I am talking about manifesting in terms of how you create your own reality, co-creating your life, co-creating your reality. So when I attracted things like yellow Jeeps, that is putting my energy out into the field, the ether, the energy field out there, whatever words you want to use to describe that thing that's out there that is vibrating energy, that is not seeable or hearable or anything like that. I am putting energy out there to attract those things into my life. And the same can go for anything that you want in your life, because the idea is that we are all one. We are not separate from that which we want to attract into our life, including straight up money, if that's what you're looking for, the love of your life, if that's what you're looking for. A new keyboard is something that I would like right now. And when I say keyboard, I mean like piano keyboard, not keyboard for my computer. Although that would be kind of cool too. I want a new keyboard in my life. I am going to manifest that. There are lots of things that you can create in your life through manifesting. Today, we're going to be talking about a specific tool called Flowdreaming. Lots and lots of people talk about various tools for manifesting. One of my favorite tools of all time is called Flowdreaming. And I should say in advance, I am not like affiliated in any way with Summer McStravick and her Flowdreaming tool, but I am a huge proponent of going to her website, flowdreaming.com, or listening to her podcast called Flowdreaming and really trying it out. But her website has some free flow dreams, so I totally suggest checking those out. Okay, what the frig is flow dreaming? Let's talk about that. Flow dreaming, you know what? I'm just going to go right to her website. Here's what she says. Flow dreaming is a combination of three things. She says it's a magic elixir of three things. So one is being in the flow, being in a flow state, and daydreaming, and emotion. Let me just be sure. Yeah, that's what she says. So awareness of flow energy, strong directed emotion, and guided daydreaming. So now I want to say that it's quite different. You'll see when you try it, it's quite different than a meditation would be. Because meditation, your brainwave, I wonder actually if she's done any of this research where you check brainwave activity. She may have. Your brainwave activity when you are in a meditative state is either an alpha or theta brainwave state. when I'm doing mediumship work, I try to get down to the theta brainwave state. It's that place between dream and wake state. But alpha level for meditation is perfectly fine. So we start right now. I'm in beta state, which is like the thinking mind, engaging with other people, doing tasks, that kind of thing. Just below that, that meditative, like relaxed state is alpha. Just below that, that place between sleep and wake is theta brainwave state. And then there's delta below that. So flow dreaming is really active. It's beta. You're still in beta state. It's like if I were to ask you right now to imagine getting on a plane and going, well, not if you're fearful of planes, like doing something that is really pleasant to you. Maybe you really love ice cream. So imagine going to like Dairy Queen or somewhere to get your favorite ice cream of all time and imagine eating it. And that is beta state. You're thinking about it, you're imagining it, you're feeling the emotions of it. That is basically flow dreaming. So, what she does is she has these recordings for all kinds of things. She has abundance, she has health, she has, oh my gosh, like down the list, forget it. She has all kinds of things on of things to manifest into your life. And I'll tell a little story. I was listening to the podcast Flowdreaming when I first became aware of spirit babies. I had been flow dreaming for a couple of years at that point through the fertility issues that I experienced. You probably, if you're an old follower of mine, then you'll know that I have a previous podcast called The Miracles Happen fertility podcast where I talk all about fertility stuff and metaphysical things within the context of fertility. So I tell my story there quite in depth about my fertility struggles. And I was flow dreaming quite a bit to help manifest a baby. That's what I really wanted. She has this one podcast called the lack cycle, or maybe it is a flow dream about reducing the lack cycle or getting out of the lack cycle. And I actually ended up creating, it's a meditation, not a flow dream, about reducing the baby lack cycle. So that's just my little inspiration for that. But anyway, so I was doing flow dreaming and it was a few years that I had been doing it. And I tell this story of when I was seeing a client and these spirit babies came to me. Now, I am not someone who, did this kind of thing when I was a kid. I didn't talk to dead people. I didn't anything like that. I didn't see things that other people didn't see. I was always quite sensitive, but I never saw things like that. So this was really off-putting and anxiety provoking for me. So I thought maybe flow dreaming has something to do with it. So what did I end up doing? I called in to Summer McStravick's show. So she used to have this live show and you could call into it. So I called in and I ended up finding that recording recently. I found it. I called in and I basically am like, WTF, like what's going on, Summer? This thing happened to me. Summer McStravick is also a medium. And is it flow dreaming? Like what happened? And in that episode, she explained what could possibly be happening to create this ability to connect to the other side. And she has a lot of things to say, but one of the things that stuck out to me was that when you are in this flow state, you are connected to all things. And so I just want to describe that. The flow state, and it's interesting, I'll put an image up on the screen right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this image because she has this on her website. And I went, holy shit, that is exactly what I see when I move into the flow state. Now, I'm quite visual. So someone who is more audio or they pay attention to sensation, like on the skin, you might feel this more, you might experience this differently, but I see the flow state in this way. When you are in the flow state, it's almost like time doesn't exist. There is actually a book written about the flow state, and I believe it's related to, there's an example of athletes who are in the flow state, it's an experience of no time. Time simply doesn't exist. You make instant decisions right then and there. There's no future thinking. There's no past thinking. You are fully in the present and focused fully on the now while moving. You're moving, you're creating things, you're making things, you're working, you're an athlete, you're lifting weights, you are playing baseball, you are on the soccer field, whatever it is that you're doing, you are fully in the flow state. And the book that's written about this, I can't remember the person's name, but it is really difficult to pronounce. Csikszentmihalyi, something like that. He talks about how performance is when someone is in the flow state. It is incredible when your brain activity, when your focus is fully on what you are doing in the present moment, your ability to perform goes up like crazy. And what Summer McStravick talks about in terms of this flow energy is that state. It's the state of being here now. So the other thing that I did while I was flow dreaming was mindfulness meditation. And that is very present moment awareness, just being here now. And so I was very familiar with that feeling of being in the flow because of mindfulness meditation. And so when I would do these flow dreams with Summer McStravick, it was easy for me to move right into a flow state because it was so familiar to me at that point. So, what she describes in her flow dreaming, and again, you can go to her website and download a couple of them for free, is being in this physical place. You're visualizing this physical place or experiencing, whether you hear it or you feel a sensation on your skin. I actually experience it in multiple ways through many of my clairs, but you're imagining, at the very least, imagining being in this swirling energy, golden light, sparkles of golden light, and they're like ribbons of energy. I imagine it exactly how she has it on her website here. I'm in the middle of space with stars all around, and I'm in this sort of vortex or ribbon, this tube of moving energy, of golden sparkling energy, and I'm just flowing along like a river. And it's interesting when she talks about flow energy, it really is like going with the flow. You are going with it. You're just following the stream, lovingly, beautifully floating in there. No need to change the flow at all. You're just going with it. Now, some people, this could be a little bit anxiety provoking because lots of folks want to be in control. But if you're able to imagine that you are safe, fully held, fully just in the now, moving through this flow state at whatever speed is most comfortable for you, it becomes so much fun when you're in this state. I actually imagine jumping in and out like it's a river, jumping in and out of the flow state, like diving in and then like moving and twisting in this tube of golden energy. It's so much fun. I have the best time when I am flow dreaming, and I encourage you to give it a shot, as I said, because you might find that it's really fun too. Now, it's interesting when I talk about flow energy, going with the flow with people when they move through difficult times, because I use quite often the image of a river. And you have to imagine, right? Like a river, the river is always going somewhere, right? There's a destination. So let's say a river is flowing to the ocean. In fact, I just took a picture of that today. There's a little stream, or a creek, they call it, that flows toward the ocean. I just took a picture of one today. And if you think about the flowing of a river or a creek or a stream, it is rarely, if ever, a straight line, right? It twists, it curves, sometimes it turns completely back on itself. But there is a trust and a knowing that it's headed toward its destination. So when you are in this flow state, if you're able to imagine, there are twists and turns and curves all over the place through space and time, but I trust and I have a knowing that I am flowing exactly where I'm supposed to go. And in the idea or in the context of manifesting, what you're imagining is you are flowing toward that which you are bringing into your life, that which you are attracting into your life. Okay, so the other component of flow dreaming, first we talk about the flow. The other component is dreaming. And if you don't dream in your sleep life, that's completely fine. Well, actually, you do. Research shows that we dream at least 6 times a night, but hey, if you don't remember your dreams, I'll put it that way. If you don't remember your dreams, that is completely fine. But I know that you can daydream. Everybody can daydream. If you're at work and you're not digging your job right now, I bet you can daydream like being on a tropical island so fast. I bet it's like instant for you. That is what we're talking about. You can imagine in your body, in your mind, in your mind's eye, like the images of that which you prefer doing over what you might be doing right now. Although you're listening or watching this podcast, so right, aren't you doing exactly and listening to exactly what you want to do anyway? Just putting that out there. But daydreaming is fun, right? It's such a good time. You're thinking about and imagining that which you want to attract into your life. That's daydreaming. It's so simple. Okay. The third component of flow dreaming is, in my opinion, the most important thing. And I'm going to be talking about this in part 3 of this manifesting series because I really feel like you cannot manifest things without this component. And that is strong emotion. That is the third component of of flow dreaming. And you can't do manifesting without it. Strong, directed emotion. So I believe it's Summer McStravick that says, when you are daydreaming and you're thinking and imagining and using your mind's eye to think about what you want to attract into your life, the images aren't even close to as important as how you feel about it. Okay, so if you are imagining, I'll use an example that's really common in the fertility world. Okay, even if you're not struggling with fertility issues, this will make sense to you. So when I ask people to get into the flow state and to imagine a strong emotion of having their baby in their arms, inevitably, what they end up doing is going to the opposite. Yeah, but what if that never happens? What if I can't make shit happen? What if I can't conceive? What if I can't carry a baby to term? What if, all in the negative, which completely negates the purpose of this strong, directed, positive emotion. It is the complete opposite. And here's what you say to the universe when you have any emotion. The universe is saying, okay, I will send you more of that. So when you have an emotion of, fuck, what if it never happens? The universe will say, okay, I'll send you more of, what if this never happens? But that is the opposite of what you want, right? What you want is, this thing happens. It's right now. It's happening right now. I'm holding my baby in my arms. And oh my goodness, how much strong emotion does that create for you? It creates this depth of love and a satisfaction of this longing that you've had for potentially years sometimes, right? What are you trying to manifest, and what kind of emotion will that create when that thing is in your reality? Now, when people try to go to what if in the negative, like what if that never happens? I actually ask people to create a neutrality by saying, what if it does? And attempting to get back into that positive. We're going to talk more about it in the third part of this series, like how to get back into that strong positive emotion. Now, when I say positive emotion, I don't mean you have to think positive all the time. No, that is not what I mean because we don't want to create phony. We don't want to create a phony feeling because the universe is listening to that too. And honestly, this is from Deepak Chopra. One of my favorite things he has ever said is that even a positive mind can be a turbulent mind. We don't want to create turbulence. We want to create stillness and a feeling of this thing is already here. There's a contentedness about it. There's no frantic energy. It's just pure contentedness and joy and peace because it's here. Oh my God, I can't believe it, but I can because I've been creating this. I'll talk about this within the context of creating my own family. I probably talked about this already in the first episode, so apologize if I'm repeating myself, but the feeling was, oh my God, it's here. And, well, of course it's here. I've been manifesting this whole time. This feels familiar to me. Of course I've been creating this, and of course it's here because I've been creating it. This feels so familiar to me. There's a contentedness, a satisfaction, a peace, a stillness. There's no turbulence at all. There's no anxiety. There's no anything that is the opposite of peace and stillness. It's just peace. So, when you are creating this, when you're using flow dreaming, you're in this flow state. You're aware of it. I am just here right now. I'm in this swirling, uh, golden threaded tube of energy and it's just flowing. I'm inside it and I'm being guided to create that which I want to create through Summer's daydreaming recordings. And I have strong emotion about it. Oh my God, this feels so good. This thing is finally here in my life. It feels so good. And there's no going back to, oh my God, what if this never happens? There's none of that. You're just here now. All right. So I absolutely encourage you to give flow dreaming a shot. It's one of my most favorite tools ever. And it has worked for me. I don't even know how many times. It's just amazing to do. And shoot, when you get familiar with how flow dreaming works, you're going to be able to create your own flow dreams in an instant. You can either record them or you can just imagine in your mind's eye moving through that vortex of energy, being in the flow state and creating that which you want to attract into your life. So I'd love to know what you are attracting into your life right now, what I'm attracting into my life. Oh, and this has actually partially happened. I have been wanting to join a band. Like I want to be part of a band and play music, sing. I want to play my uke. I want to get better I want to learn the guitar. I want to get better on the uke. I want to get better on keys. I want to fine tune my vocals. I want to be part of a group of people who are passionate like I am around music. And what happened, but last week, a friend pops up and said, "Hey, are you interested in joining a band?" And here we are, Wednesday nights, we are practicing. I got my keys and now I want a new keyboard because my keyboard right now is like 8,000 pounds and to lug that around is really pain in the ass. So I'd like a lightweight one with more features. And that is what I'm manifesting right now. So the keyboard is part of my whole picture, the whole picture of how it will be to be a part of a band and go and perform. And shoot, maybe I'll even post some of our performances on my YouTube channel, maybe create a whole other YouTube channel for us. I think it's on its way. I know it's on its way. I feel it's on its way. And when the whole picture comes and we actually do our first live performance, it's probably going to feel like, well, of course. Yeah, of course we're here right now. This has always been in the works. It's in the flow state. I'm in the flow state. This has always been on its way, and here it is right now. And I'll probably right now go create my own flow dream around this too. All right, these resources are all linked in the show notes below. I highly encourage you to try flow dreaming. Again, I am not an affiliate. I don't get paid for any of this. I am giving you my honest feedback around a beautiful tool that you can use to create your own life and whatever it is that you want in your life. All right, I will see you next time in part 3 of this manifesting series. Be well. Thanks for joining the Reluctant Medium podcast today. I hope you found some useful information, or maybe just a few laughs, or maybe you feel deeply seen. That's my hope. If you'd like to connect with me in any way, you can email me at maria@thereluctantmedium.us. Find me on all kinds of social networks. And if you'd like to connect with others in a free environment, along with myself, consider downloading the Mighty Networks app and searching for the Miracles Happen community. Would love to see you there. Until next time, my friend, may you be well.